Hey there, memory keepers. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada, and I'm here today to share a process video with you for this month's Scrapbooking Global blog hop. So this month our challenge was to use this sketch. So I'm going to do a variation on this sketch. That's one thing that's great about sketches is, excuse me, you can copy it exactly as is, or you can use it as a jumping off point and see where it takes you. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, my background is going to be a piece of the DSP from the Peony Garden paper pack. And then I've got two photos that I'm going to document. This is from a friend's wedding from years and years ago. And I've chosen colors from her bouquet. So I've got Mary Merlot, I've got some garden green, and then I'm also going to use some daffodil and pumpkin pie as well. So really that's where I've pulled the colors from. Both of my photos measure 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then I've mounted them on some white just to make them pop off the background. I've got a piece of Mary Merlot cardstock that measures 8.5 by 8.5, and that is going to go kind of down here. I've got a piece of garden green cardstock that measures, I don't know, probably 1 inch by 11 maybe. Let's see. I just pulled it out of my scrap bin. 1 inch, yeah, by 11. That's going to go across here. And then this ribbon is from the Flowers for Every Season ribbon trim package. So there's 2 spools, I believe, in this package. There's this one. Actually, there might be 3 in this one. I'm not sure, but it's called Flowers for Every Season. So that is going to go across here. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do is just attach that to the back. So I'm going to run it down the center. And let me slide this over so that you can kind of see the sketch as we go along here. I think that's okay. All right. I'm going to just add a mini glue dot to each one of the ribbon ends just to hold it in place. And then my positioning, so I want there to be an even border on the top, bottom, and the left, or sorry, the right. And then this is going to go across the middle, in between the 2 photos. So let's just grab my T-square, make sure that I've got it straight. Okay, so as you can see, instead of 3 photos, I've just got the 2, and I did take the block area here and still added the block in behind my photos. And then they've got 2 circles here. I'm going to switch mine up a little bit. I am going to use 2 circles that I've gone ahead and I've cut using the stitched shaped dies. So I used the largest one and the second largest one, cut from Whisper White cardstock. And this is going to go under somewhat like that. And this is going to go up here. So instead of a circle here and a circle here, I've got one here and one up here to fill in this gap here for this photo. And I'm going to replace this circle image with something else. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to do some stamping here. All right, so I'm using the Daisy Lane stamp set because, again, I'm using her bouquet as my inspiration. So I am going to use the medium daisy in here with the medium daisy punch, and I'm going to punch or stamp and punch out some daisies. Oh, I've got the stamp out already. So we've got this. I've got some daffodil cardstock, And I'm going to use some daffodil ink. And I'm going to stamp 2 daisies. Okay, then I'll bring in the coordinating punch and punch out these daisies. So you can see by flipping it over, you can line it up perfectly. Okay, so now we're going to assemble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to curl the petals down. And then those petals I'm going to take and I'm going to kind of fold them up ever so slightly. This is going to give my flower a lot of dimension, and I'm going to do the same thing for this one. And then I'll add just a little bit of adhesive behind here and attach the 2 together, offsetting them just a little bit. So now my flower has some dimension and it's nice and full, so it reflects the bouquet quite nicely. For the center, what I'm going to do is I am going to take a piece of, what color did I use? Granny Apple Green Scrap. And I'll just give my stamp a clean. So again, I'm pulling out the colors right from the bouquet. So if I pull this a little closer, you can see that the yellow daisies have a green center. So that's where my inspiration came from. So I'm going to use my Granny Apple Green Stampin' Write marker and just color the center of this flower. Stamp it down on my scrap, and then I've got, I think this is a 1/4 inch circle punch. It's not a punch that we carry anymore. We did at one point. Just going to punch that out, and that is going to go right in the center of my flower. All right, so there's my flower image. So I repeated this several times. So I've got 2 Mary Merlot. So again, her Mary Merlot flowers are more like a lily, but I chose to stick with the same flower. And then I've got 3 in daffodil, and I've got 2 in pumpkin pie. Okay, so let's slide these out of the way. And remember how I said this circular image for me is going to be different. I'm going to create a little bouquet. So I've got this. So what I've done is I've cut really narrow strips of garden green cardstock, and I kind of all attached them all in the center and then wrapped around some gold thread, which I believe it's from the same paper or same ribbon combo pack. I think I'll confirm, and I'll have all the supplies listed in the description below. If you have any questions about that, you can always check that out. Okay, and then I'm going to slide this over because I want the bouquet to kind of cover the edge of that floral. Okay, so we can go ahead and I'm going to adhere my photos, create my bouquet, and then I'm going to stamp a greeting. So I'm just going to speed this up so that you can kind of watch. Okay, so I am going to use this greeting, wishing you much happiness today and always, except I'm not going to use the wishing you much. I'm just going to use the happiness today and always. And we'll just grab a block. And that is going to get stamped on here. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Write marker in black because I want it stamped in black. And by using the Stampin' Write marker, I can just ink up the words that I want and omit the ones that I don't. Okay, I love that. All right, so we've got our photos, and then we've got one circle, and then this replaces, the bouquet replaces this larger element here. Now there is this bit here, and what I've done is I've cut a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock, so in a banner shape, just like they've got here, and then they've got a circular image there. I'm going to add a daisy up there. So I'll go ahead and attach these. Okay, and then this, I'm gonna go ahead and stick it down. This is actually going to be where I add my journaling, but I'll do that off camera. And there we go. So this is my interpretation of this month's sketch. I love working with sketches, and I will actually post in the description below, I will post a link to a class that I did, all focused on different ways to interpret sketches. And it's a great class. I think there's 11, if not more, scrapbook layout inspiration layouts on there. And it shares a whole ton of ways of how you can use sketches when you scrapbook. All right, so thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that.